A liquid is kept in a barrel. At the start of a year, the barrel is filled with 160 litres of the liquid. Due to evaporation at the end of every year, the amount of liquid in the barrel is reduced by 15% of its volume at the start of the year. Calculate the amount of liquid in the barrel at the end of the first year. So at the end of the first year, well, it started with 160 and it loses 15%, which means it keeps 85%. So that's just going to be 160 multiplied by 0.85, and that gives us 136 litres. Show that the amount of liquid in the barrel at the end of 10 years is approximately 31.5 litres. So, if we think about the end of the first year, it's going to be this value. And then we're going to do that for a further 9 years. Or another way of looking at it is that we know that the nth term formula is a r to the n minus 1. So this part here is the a, and multiply by r to the n minus 1. So we're talking about 10 years, so that's to the 9. And so we have 160 multiplied by, in all, 0.85 to the power 10. And make sure we're in decimal mode. That gives us 31.49990, and so on. At the start of each year, a new barrel is filled with 160 litres of liquid, so that at the end of 20 years there are 20 barrels containing liquid. Calculate the total amount of liquid to the nearest litre in the barrels at the end of 20 years. So if we think about barrel 20, the one that was filled that year, we know that that will have in it, at the end of the year, 160 times 0.85. Barrel 19 will have had 2 years of evaporation, so that's going to be 160 times 0.85 squared, and so on. So we can see that we have a geometric sequence with A being 160 times 0.85, which of course we know is 136, and R is 0.85. So we want the sum of 20 terms. So that's going to be 160 times 0.85. I suppose there I should have written 136 to save time. And then we're going to have 1 minus 0.85 to the power 20 all over 1 minus 0.85. So we just need to calculate that. So that's going to be 136 times 1 minus 0.85 to the power 20 all over 0.15, giving us 871.52 and so on. We wanted nearest litre, so that's approximately 872 litres. If this process continues, at the end of which year would there first be more than 905 litres of liquid in total? So what we're looking at here is a sum of n terms, but we don't know what the n is. So we do know what the a is, 160 times 0.85. 1 take away 0.85 to the n, all over 1 take away 0.85. Now if we put that equal to 905 and solve, let's see what happens. So action advanced solve. Now once again let's use 136 rather than typing in all of that. and then we've got 1 take away 0.85 to the power x all over 0.15, and we need that to be equal to 905. And that gives us, now let's have a look, something's gone wrong here. Yep, it's 0.85. And that gives us 38.75. So n is 38.75. Bum, bum, bum. That tells us that if n equals 38, there's not going to be quite 905. So n has to be a whole number. So n is going to be 39 years. If the process continues indefinitely, would there ever be a total of 910 litres in all of the barrels? Justify your answer. Well, let's do the sum to infinity, which we know is a over 1 minus r. So that's going to be 136 over 0.15. So 136 divided by 0.15 gives us 906.6 recurring, and therefore we can never get a total of 910.